Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good day, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the channel. I have with me here our good friends, Vatorgames. How are you, man?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Yeah, no, things are good, man. Good Friday out here. So little nice recharge before the weekend hits and very important match happening tomorrow. So I'm all right.
How's the weather in Toronto, man?
It is actually nice. Kids are actually outside,
Yeah,
t-shirts
yeah,
playing, so
yeah.
loving it.
I'm in Washington and it's lovely out here, man. It's about 2 o'clock. It's about 21 degrees centigrade, which is about maybe 70 Fahrenheit or so. It's really nice out here. Let's talk about the guys who are in England. I know, Adam, you're in London, right, Adam?
Yeah, that's correct.
How are you, man? How are you this bank holiday?
Yeah, I'm alright. Just a chill day, relaxing.
Yeah, what's the weather like, man?
It's alright. It's not that bad.
Cool,
Come
cool.
on, it's raining and cloudy. Come on.
And certified, where are you, man? Where are you located? Are you London or Manchester?
So Manchester, but I'm currently in Newcastle at the minute, but
Oh,
I'm
wow.
actually heading. Yeah, I'm in Newcastle. I'm up north, so it's it's normally colder than London and that, but today it's just coming sunset. It's about to get a little dark, but it's just chill over here, man. We're waiting for tomorrow, man. Tomorrow's a big game.
Absolutely. Charlie says the Manchester has been warm, 18 degrees, some clouds about. That's nice, man. To have nice warm weather in Manchester, it's good. I hope the weather's good tomorrow for our boys too, who just did a yeoman's job in Madrid, man. The last game, I watched it again, and the character they showed, man. On the field. Any other club, they bottle that. They bottle that game tomorrow. Last week. So big up to the guys. But again, like Certified said, tomorrow is a big game. Certified, I mean, so and Veda, you think it's a big game, or is this the least big game out of the games we have left? I'll let you guys answer that, both of you.
It's a big game because it's to further advance in the cup run. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. From priority, we must win because there's so many more important matches along the way. But I don't like giving up an inch, man. I don't like giving an advantage to somebody. So it's a big match.
If I mean, Certified coming to you, if it was City versus, let's say, Southampton in the FA Cup semi-final, and it was Chelsea versus Palace, would we be this gung-ho about it, as in it's a big game? Would we be like, well, if we rotate and we lose, fair enough, we have other things to work on? What's your thought on that?
Well, I'm not saying that we're gonna get obviously we're a good team. In my opinion, we're the best in the world. So of course we've got that high standard. But I think that it's a big game just because of Liverpool, the team it is that we're gonna be up against. And I think the fact that they had Benfica and we had Atletico, if they had maybe Bayern Munich midweek, I'd be more like relaxed. But the fact that I had Salah, Van Dijk, all these guys on the bench, obviously that could affect them going into the league game because I think Man United is next for them. But at the end of the day, I think it's just every Liverpool game, unless it's a friendly or Community Shield, is a big game. And I think that's how the players will say. But I don't think in the grand scheme of things, if we did lose tomorrow and we won the Premier League or the Champions League, at the end of the season, we won't really care that much. They can keep the FA Cup and League Cup. But it's just like an extra trophy we can say that we have.
Adam, you're right, Charlie. Charlie says this game is the exact same what happened versus Chelsea in the FA Cup last season, where we were prepared to face PSG more than the FA Cup. I feel like this is what has happened this season as well. Do you subscribe to that same argument, Adam?
Yeah, I'm on the same page as say Charlie. What the comment that Charlie posted.
Yep. Patrick says he couldn't make it because he had to pick his mom from the airport. That's okay, Patrick. Family trumps everything we're doing here. So good on you. I already know what you think about the game tomorrow. For me, I just if we were to lose one of the 4 games, right, over the past 7 days, frankly, think about Liverpool, Atleti, Liverpool, Atleti, and then this game. I'm like, okay, we'll let them have the FA Cup. But to Sensifi's point, it's Liverpool, right? We know the media hype. We know all the stories they're gonna create. They're gonna start looking at, okay, what happens in the Champions League final to get there? How does it affect the league form? We know that all that nonsense is gonna what's gonna surround tomorrow, which I think is just it's crazy because that's what the media do, right? So that's why I want to win. But for me, if we can get the kids out there to play good, and they lose 2-1 or 1-0, whatever it is, I'm more than happy with that. I don't care for the FA Cup. I do, but in the grand scheme of things, if we win the FA Cup and lose the Champions League, Premier League, it's a failure, right? That's what they're going to say.
Yeah. It's because it's Liverpool. No matter what they're trying to say with regards to rivalry, this is a rivalry. It's been us and Liverpool battling it out for these titles and who's the best in the EPL. And now, because of our form, both teams, we have a chance at making history for both of our clubs or adding more hardware. So because it's Liverpool, that's why this game matters. If it's fielding a weaker team, I'm okay with that. I'm not expecting Pep to field the strongest team possible against Liverpool. If he's gauging mileage on the legs for some of these players, if he's managing some of the knocks that some of these players had because of this slugfest that we just had the other day against Atletico Madrid, I'm okay with it. But I just don't want to see a team that's clearly dismissing the FA Cup, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. Let's talk about Pep's press conference. Did anybody here listen to his press conference? I haven't. It's certified. Adam, Vader, did you listen to it? Anything
No,
you can pick up?
I haven't got the time to. I didn't get the time to check it out. So
Certified, did you?
I only saw a few quotes. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I seen some quotes. Yeah, I seen about Kyle Walker, Kevin De Bruyne's injuries, and just basically the media hype of the game.
What did they say about the injuries?
Well, they said that Kevin De Bruyne is just, I think it's just said a knock. I'm pretty sure. So it shouldn't be. It's nothing muscular. It's something just like an impact injury. And then Kyle Walker, they said, wasn't as bad. He was gonna continue, but then they just decided to take him off. But both of them haven't trained today.
See, Adam. Yeah. Whenever I talk on the WhatsApp group, you all need to listen to me. Remember the whole panic about Walker. I'm serious, and I say this all the time to you guys. Right? I don't know if maybe it's my experience so far because I coach and I get kids who are injured all the time. I see what happens. I know, I said it's not going to be a big deal. The fact that he was in a boot, he was on his own weight, he wasn't in crutches, tells you that they're protecting the boot. They want to make sure they scan it properly and know what's going on. It's probably a high sprain. The fact that Kevin was on the sideline and had an ice pack tells you it's superficial. It's not ligament or anything else. Serious. Everything I say, every time I talk about these things, Mr. Positive. No, it's just, when you coach kids, kids have injuries, you see these things happen. You get to see what's going on. You get to feel it. You get to know it. Even without the scans, you get to know it. Mm-hmm. So, listen, they needed a rest anyway. I just want them back for Real Madrid first leg and the rest of the running. This game, let's try the other ones. But let's talk about formations and actually we'll just go through. So I have my own preferred lineup, but I don't know whether I want you guys can pick. Let me show you what I thought and let's debate it, and then let me share my screen and then we can talk. And Veda, if you can just read the comments, that'll be fine while I share my screen and talk about the comments real quick. And so let me know if you can see my screen. Just a minute. Where is it now?
Yeah, all good, bro. I can see that.
Okay. So this is what I had, and then we can go and change things as we see fit. But Edison in goal, what do you guys think?
I'm not mad if he's not in goal, to tell you the truth.
Do we need him in goal?
I would say so,
obviously
yeah.
the better choice. Yes, I think he creates a problem for how Klopp decides to attack us because we can have a quick transition from Ederson, whether it's ball distribution through his feet or even the good choices that he makes with throwing the ball out. So he creates a problem if he's back there, and I think they don't press us as high with him in net versus Stefan being in that.
Adam, I mean, do you think if he starts Stefan, is that less of an advantage to us? I mean, given that Stefan's distribution is not that good, his shot stopping is really good. What do you think about if Stefan starts? Which I think he's injured or recovering, but I'm not sure.
Like what you said, we miss like with Stefan starting, we miss that distribution that Edison has. But we get the advantage of him being a good stop shopper.
Yeah.
But in a sense, you need Edison for this game, where the way that Liverpool tend to play this, try to catch you with this high line that they play or the system. So in a sense, you need Edison where, say, if Liverpool try to do that, where he can just ping the ball to, say, to the left or to the right, whomever's on the wing, and try get a counter attack that way. In a sense, if they're trying to just be in our face, we can use Edison's advantage of his distribution to just ping it to the wings or to the striker, and then probably get a goal from that.
Certified. What do you think about the back four? Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte, and Ake Zinchenko. You guys, what do you guys? Let's start with Certified. The fullbacks. What do you think with that?
Yeah, I think the fullbacks are good, especially because Cancelo gives us that little extra dimension when he's playing, like a little bit more of an attacking threat than the other two. Than the other two, yes, Ake and Zinchenko. However, I would put Ake as the centre back and keep Zinchenko left back. I just think that Laporte has been playing in a lot of these tight games. I think he's playing Atletico, Liverpool, and then Atletico. So I would rest him and John Stones just because I feel like if, obviously, God forbid, touch wood, but let's say Ruben Diaz goes down, then, and you know what I'm saying, then we're left with like Laporte and Stones. That means every single match we're going to have to play with them. So maybe just try and rotate, try and just make sure that they don't get injured. And as long as we got Edison, who can help play out the back, and obviously Diaz is going to be there and Cancelo, I think that would be good enough to do the job.
But Veta, did Ake came on late for the game away, right? So he hasn't got that much in his legs, correct? I mean, Are you worried that if we start Zinchenko, he doesn't have that match rhythm? Would you rather go with Ake instead of Zinchenko? Just a thought.
I'd rather go with Ake. I think because his last real battle was 2 matches ago. So he came in, he obviously gave a break for some of the guys, but I'd like to keep him in proper short rotation. I think he's earned it. He's definitely earned the trust with regards to the level of the match. And I think we got some assurances with him back there if we're not playing the strongest team. So I'd like to see him.
Okay. So we all agree Ake and Cancelo fullbacks, right, for tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah.
I know we had a discussion about Laporte or Ake or Laporte. Stone. I mean, I put in Diaz there because Diaz, I don't want a case where Stones is playing 3 games in a week and he gets injured again, given his history.
Right.
So do we start Diaz here? Do we give him a run out? Is he ready for Liverpool? Or do we just keep it at Laporte and Stones and hope and pray to God that everything's fine? Or maybe switch out second half?
If Diaz is back there, sorry, go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
Nah, I was saying I'll probably see John Stones and Laporte starting, and then say maybe like around the 60th or 70th minute, that's where we probably end up seeing, say, Diaz just being chucked into the starting lineup. That's where I see it probably happening.
Certified and Vatorgames, what do you think?
Go ahead, G.
Yeah, okay. I feel like that's obviously the best thing to do. Just bring Diaz back in and just. I know obviously he's just came back from an injury, but I feel like the best players can come back, and he might be a little bit rusty because I did see when Van Dijk came back from his injury. Obviously, it was longer, and he was a little bit rusty for like maybe a couple of games. So it happens to the best, but I just feel like as long as Fernandinho and almost would not carry him, but when players are coming back from injury, you don't want to leave them exposed. You want to make sure that. So Kyle Walker would have been perfect just to make sure that he doesn't need to overrun, and that is okay. However, I think we've just got to play Diaz because we've got no choice. Because if Laporte, Stones get injured, especially Stones, that would be, I don't know, either the title over or the Champions League over. Man, can't lose a centre back this late on, man. Can't.
So we're going with
I
we're going to go with Laporte.
I really think so.
I
think
think
Diaz not.
No,
I think Diaz has been ready. I think Diaz has been ready. I think he's been on the sideline because, again, familiarity with the guys that have been playing. But all these, he's been like Diaz has been seen at practice or hearing that he's close to being with the first team. I think he's ready to go. I think what's most important to him, because he's not a speed defender, like he's smart. He reads the game. He's in the right position. So I think that type of leadership, and to G Certified's point, if he is rusty, it's the FA Cup. Be rusty in the FA Cup, and for the rest of the EPL, and when we need you for Champions League, you're good to go. So I wouldn't be mad if Diaz started.
It won't surprise me if he plays Stones and Diaz tomorrow and gives Laporte a break, because Laporte's played a lot of games, right? Because of his left, it won't surprise me, but he more than likely will play Laporte and Diaz tomorrow. Any comments in the comment section in the chat? Vatorgames, anybody?
Oh yeah. So I'm kind of new to this. So earlier on, we had Patrick saying get the lineup up, formation time. So we're talking about that. I put something about. Oh, Charlie said this, and I think he says he's heard something about KD's injury. So obviously he'd be out. That was one of the earlier comments. Yeah. Patrick also mentioned that Stefan is a cup keeper. So I think he believes that Pep's going to hold true to that and put him back there possibly, which I wouldn't be mad at. And then Charlie goes, City flew to London from Madrid so that they could be closer to Wembley. Yeah. They have trained at Millwall Stadium today, and it is near to Wembley. So in terms of managing the players, not overdoing it in terms of travel time and giving the players a proper rest. Looks like City's been bang on top of it. Smart decisions made here. So the team looks like it's going to be ready. Charlie also says Fernandinho to start. Wow, that's a big prediction. So I don't think it's that wild.
And let's go. That's a good segue into the next piece, right? Certified Adam and Vatorgames. It is so we can't do the midfield three without doing the front three, right? So because of the way we play, right? You can't do the midfield three without doing the front three because they're all interrelated. We can't. If you take one out from the front three, that means somebody in the midfield has to move. You know what I mean? Because with the way we play with that front five or front 5.5, if you would. Liverpool, we know what the front three is going to be. It's either going to be Diaz, Mane, Salah, or Firmino. We know that, right? They don't affect what happens in the midfield. The midfield is Fabinho, Alcantara, and maybe Henderson, right? Or maybe that kid, Harvey Elliott. We know what the midfield is going to be. There's no doubt. For us, it's a little different because we don't know what Pep is going to do. I mean, I had Foden, Fernandinho, Gundogan here, but then I'm thinking about Bernardo Silva because Bernardo Silva came off at 70 minutes in the game on Wednesday. Foden, didn't play the first leg of Atleti, right? He has energy. Does he play? Do we play McAtee? The front three, is it Sterling? Is it Grealish? Is it Jesus? All those three players, right? Two of them didn't really play much in Atleti, right? So they're fresh. So how do we do this, guys? I mean, do we start with the front three or the middle or the midfield three? Certified, Adam and Vader.
I think we should start with the midfield three.
Okay, so who do you think?
Yeah, go. We'll do the midfield. Yeah, I think to work ourselves down. Sorry, just to work ourselves down.
So Fernandinho, we all agree should start, or are we saying Rodri?
I think so. It's probably going to end up being Fernandinho, where we end up seeing Rodri being rested.
Yeah.
He's played a lot of games, right? I mean, seriously, we don't want him to get injured, man.
I got to interrupt you. Big milestone. Congratulations. Pitch Points reach 100 subs. That's huge.
Finally.
Up the champagne.
Charlie,
I got the champagne out here.
The wine.
The wine. Yeah.
And
Thanks,
Charlie's
everyone.
out here. My bad. Charlie's out here saying KDB's injury was from a previous one. This scar opened back up, and I think that's what it was. It was stitches that
Correct.
had to be
So,
managed. Okay.
so what probably happened, Beta, and Charlie, thank you for that because I saw that. What probably happened was that, remember last year during the Euros or whatever it was, he had an injury with his ankle. They probably went in, did some surgery there, and fixed it. And so there's always scar tissue, right? And so maybe
Okay.
somebody, it will probably happen. Somebody scratched it and it opened up again. So they just probably just stitch it back and give him time to heal. That's what probably
Got it.
happened. Yeah. One of my kids had, she has she plays football, so she had to have some surgery on her ankle because the one of the bones was not tight enough, so they have to go in and do some surgery. So she has a little scar, but after a while, it can always flare up again if you scratch it because that scab is there. So it's not a big deal. The ice pack we saw on his calf was just reduced swelling, so it's not a big. He'll be back for Brighton or at least back for Real Madrid, not a problem. So that's Charlie. Yeah. So Fernandinho, we all agree we should give him a chance.
Yeah.
Man, put the captain back in, man. We need him for this game just to break if there's any counter attacks. And he did well. He did well against Atletico. He actually did pretty well when he came on.
He did
so
well.
Give him his opportunity.
Did you see when he pushed Foden back to the ground to lie back down?
Yeah, he said, "What do you? No need to rush to get out."
Yeah. So if we're going to play Fernandinho in the holding, we're going to need energy around him, right? I mean, in the midfield. Do you guys think that? We're going to need a lot of energy. Foden but Gundogan or Bernardo, who would you pick, guys, for the midfield?
I feel like it's probably going to end up being Gundogan and Bernardo.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think the engine with Bernardo, he won't miss tomorrow because he's just an engine. He can play all the time. But Gundogan, he needs to play for the goals. He needs to, just because I think that he can score goals from midfield and get in the good areas. And he did cause Liverpool problems at the field. Obviously, there wasn't any Van Dijk then, and that's what they'll always say. But he does have a history against Liverpool recently. So let's see what he can do.
So what are we going with then? Are we going Fernandinho, Gundo, and Bernardo middle?
That's how I see it.
Okay.
We need so I don't know if you guys agree, but of all the players that we have on our squad, I think Bernardo Silva is the one with the most grit and probably hatred towards Liverpool. We need his energy on the field. We saw how respectful he was during their walk of honor when they had won the trophy or won the league a couple of years ago. I think we need his type of mentality on the field, and again, we need rest for these guys. Gundo's got to play.
So if Fernandinho, Gundo, and Bernardo play, that means Foden misses out in midfield, right? And Foden, the reason I put Foden there was because I think he has the eye to make that kind of Kevin De Bruyne pass. Remember the goal that the assist he gave for Kevin during the Atletico game? Remember all those games where he plays deep? He has the eye. Gundo and Bernardo play differently. They're more kind of short passes. So we don't have a dynamic passer. That's why I put him there. But I do hear the argument about having Gundo and Bernardo there. The question now is that if that's a three, who's up front for us? I have Sterling, Grealish, Jesus. And now we have the option of Foden. So we have 4 players fit into 3. What do you do with the front 3?
Mahrez doesn't start.
I agree.
Yeah, agreed. I agree with Bear there. He doesn't start, man. Ramadan Mahrez, I thought he was coming there, man. I thought he was going to start, scoring and all that. But he's been there, but he hasn't been at the level that he was before the international break. So
he wasn't very good on Tuesday, right? On Wednesday, he wasn't very good on Wednesday, right? He kept losing the ball, kept getting caught out. It wasn't very good. But Jesus, does Jesus start tomorrow?
Yeah.
He's charged up. He's fully charged up.
Where does he start though? Left, middle, right?
I'd say right. I'd put him right wing. I'd put Grealish. I don't want Grealish in a false 9 because he always gets lost when he plays in the middle. So I'd want him to play maybe. I'd rather have Dalot than Grealish up there. So I'd rather have Grealish on the left and then Jesus on the right and then Sterling through the middle. Obviously, Sterling can get caught out sometimes, but just if maybe we're playing at counter attack, Sterling's pacing behind him, we might have to do that instead. because we haven't got really anyone really else. We could play Foden, but I would rather he rests for Brighton because he's always good against Brighton. And then Mahrez, I'd rather rest him for the Premier League games as well.
Okay, so we're resting Foden and Mahrez for this game, guys. Veta and Adam, what do you think? Or you want to make an argument for Grealish and Sterling, or Foden on the left? What's the argument?
I wouldn't be. Foden can give us a good. Man's young. I think he could give us a good 70 minutes, and play on the left. Sterling in the middle, Jesus on the right. I'd like to see that. Grealish. The only thing I have with Grealish is when he's on the left wing, the work rate to actually get back, which would be needed because of Trent and Salah on that side.
Yeah.
I don't see him putting in that shift. That's the only thing. And I think he can get there. It's not like he's never going to be able to be that player, but I don't think he's picked that up yet. And I don't want to risk it for this match. I'd rather him come in later in the game, fresh when guys are a little spent, and do his thing.
So it looks like we all agree that Sterling and Jesus will start. The question is, does Foden or Grealish start? But I think Sterling hasn't played much. He came as a sub in this game. In the first game, he left as a sub. Played against Liverpool, I think, most of the game, but came off. Jesus clearly didn't start for Atletico Madrid. Neither did he start the first game for Atletico Madrid. So he's completely fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, Foden, is Foden the false nine, or is it going to be Grealish? That's what we're talking about here, right? Ultimately, Grealish hasn't played much either. So it's a tough one.
I mean, when the way Liverpool defended against us in that first match, I don't think we need to play the false nine. Like we had, if we're playing with the lineup that we're talking about with Gundo and Silva and Fernandinho, Foden being in the play, as well as maybe Jesus and Sterling providing a little more of that backline pressure, I think we still control the midfield. I think we still have the ability to control and have possession and still get our opportunity. So Grealish coming on as a sub, that obviously can happen, and I think for the most part we have a strong team to cause problems.
Okay. So then we'll do this. We'll put Foden as a false nine, and then we'll make Foden / Grealish, so Grealish can come in as a sub. And so we Sterling, Foden, Jesus with the sub of Foden for Grealish later on, maybe 60 minutes or so. Midfield, Bernardo, Gundogan, Fernandinho. Maybe bring McAtee on for Bernardo because Bernardo ran a lot the last game and also the game against Liverpool. And then Ake, Laporte, Diaz, Cancelo, Fernandinho, and Edison. That should be the lineup. And we'll post these guys out on Twitter from the group's decisions around that real quick. So
I got one shout here.
I wasn't sharing. Oh, I wasn't sharing. Okay, I'll update it. But yeah, go ahead, Vader.
And I believe it was the second leg versus Sporting. We had Riley playing right back, right? Academy player.
Yes, Egan Riley. That's right. Right.
I loved what I saw from him. I know we were 5 goals up. I know there was a lot of trust put into him, given that we had such a lead. But I liked his composure with the ball. He didn't look panicked. I'd like to see him on the team sheet more often than not.
Yeah.
So because one of the comments early on, I think Patrick made it, was we need backups at fullback, whether it's left or right.
Yeah, I concur with that. I mean, do you think he's ready for this level?
I think given time and given the game time, yes. But whether he will get the game time, that's something else then.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big game. Think about Sadio Mane, against Egan Riley. It is a massive. I mean, it's a massive game.
For me, it wouldn't even be Sadio Mane. It would be Luis Diaz, who I'd be worried about on that left wing, because I've seen him work up even Tomiyasu. I've seen who is obviously at a higher level at the minute. So I think even he ripped up who's in the Carabao Cup. Was it Reece James? He ripped up someone on right back for Chelsea. So I don't know if Ian Riley's ready yet. I definitely, as they said, put him on the bench with McAtee and Dallup, and then. But if any one of them is going to start tomorrow, I think it'll be Dallup. Even though I don't think any of them will, but if any do, I think it'll be Dallup because he's an outside, and he scored a good. I don't know if you guys seen the goal he scored against Arsenal.
Do you guys think the lap will start?
I don't. Who knows, man? Who knows? I doubt it. I doubt that he'll start, but you just never know with Guardiola, man. Pep may just say, you know what, I'm just going to give the kids a shot, and if we lose, fine. At least I got my players rested, and who knows, man? Seriously.
For me, there's more important games to come.
Oh, they're massive games to come, mate. They're a massive game. So this is what we agreed the lineup will be. Let me know you can see. This is kind of what we agreed, right? You see my screen? Yeah.
You
know what's interesting about this is that this Gundogan Bernardo partnership, it really is what took us to 21 games winning streak last season. Remember when Kevin was in? This is what carried us all the way there. Remember the 4-1 that the funny thing about this is, let me share this with you guys. Let me share my screen with you. This right here. Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
we can see it.
Yeah, this was the 4-1 at Anfield last year. Guess who in the midfield here? Well, Rodri was there, but it was Gundogan and Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Foden, and then Sterling. It was Zinchenko, Cancelo, Stones, and Diaz. So somehow Cancelo was able to shut down Mane, right? Zinchenko, did well against Salah. Gundogan scored 2 goals. Sterling scored. Foden was just magnificent in that false 9 position because he drifted out. He drifted left, made right, came right, and then Jesus came in for Mahrez on the right. I don't think Mahrez is going to start today. I think it's going to be Jesus.
So Ali in the comments goes, I want to see Zinchenko instead of Ake, and I want to propose this, not to derail us too much, but what if it was Zinchenko, Ake, Diaz, Cancelo?
That's what I think it's going to be, Veta. I really think it's going to be that back four. I don't know why. I just feel Zinchenko, he just hasn't been playing, obviously in a few of the recent matches. However, he's been training for weeks, even since winning that in the FA Cup, even since the 3rd round when he played. Obviously, the only side with Zinchenko is obviously the Ukraine thing. I'm not sure where his head's at, but I think that he's a Brit, and I think he'll want to, if he does get picked, I think he'll want. I've seen a lot of Ukrainian players come in and absolutely rip it. Yarmolenko, the Everton left back, because they've got some proof. And I think Zinchenko's got that fire, hopefully, if he did start. But if he doesn't, then we'll play Ake is all right as well, because Ake, he's held it down on that left back really well. Really well.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that either. I think for us, the context has to be, look, guys, we just went through Atletico twice and Liverpool once in a matter of 6 to 7 days, right? 3 massive games. We need to trust the manager, give the team some slack. Even if they lose for whatever reason, we know the reasons why, right? Liverpool had Benfica, who, by the way, scored 3-3, and they had an easier run than certainly we did. So, it happens. It happens. I hope we win. If we don't win, I'm not going to break one sweat, because I know that the next 7 games in the Premier League and the semi-final of the Champions League are probably the most 2 important competitions for us to try and get win. Hopefully, at the end of the day, we get through the Premier League and we win the Champions League. Hopefully all things being equal. But
hopefully,
just wrapping up real quick. Ali says, I think Pep doesn't play Zinchenko because I think Pep doesn't play Zinchenko because as a goodwill gesture. You mean you think he plays him, Ali? Not doesn't play him. Charlie says, I want to see Foden in midfield to replace Gundogan. Then we play Sterling, Grealish, and Jesus. I don't mind Sterling in midfield. I think that Foden in the midfield. I think there's something about Foden in the middle of the park, Beta, that's just creative on the ball. The dynamic.
100%. I think he would be magical in the midfield. Absolutely. I'm just thinking of. Is it the time to unleash him in the midfield? That's all. I think he would be great, but is now the time to actually have him play there? Where when we think at full strength, he's most likely isn't going to be there. He's going to be up top. That's
Here's a controversial question for you guys. Jack Grealish, should he play in the midfield?
He will next
That-
year.
That's a difficult question.
Yo,
He will next
imagine.
year.
I don't know about Jack Grealish in the midfield just because I just think that Grealish, if he gets in the midfield, obviously we've got players like De Bruyne and that will obviously look for those passes and obviously might lose the ball. But I think Jack Grealish will be more likely to lose the ball than anyone else because I think he will try and carry it, and especially against Liverpool, man. If he just tries any of that in the middle of the park against Thiago, Fabinho, these guys have won. Thiago did as well. These guys have won pretty much everything in the game, and Champions Leagues included. So again, to put him in the midfield when how long has he been? Has he ever been in the midfield apart from this time at Villa?
I mean, you raise a good point because if you think about the options we have in midfield versus Grealish, we have Bernardo and Gundogan, who are keepers of the ball, right? They know how to keep the ball more than Grealish does. So you're right. I think it's risky to play him in the middle of the park. He's probably better out wide. And to Vader, your point, maybe next year, as he matures in the team and settles down, he drifts more centrally to replace Gundogan as that number 8 that we normally have playing for us. So I can see the argument. But yeah, I hate predictions and I don't like doing them. I like to kind of wait. But let's go around the table real quick with Vader, Certified, and Adam. How do you think the game is going to go, and what score will it be?
To your point, man, I don't like giving predictions until I've seen both lineups. It's just guesswork right now. But given the importance of the FA Cup, more so for Liverpool, because again, it is one of those trophies that's eluded them. It is a team that obviously it is a match that Klopp obviously rested players for. Mm-hmm. So you saw how he prioritized things. He's going to field it. I think he's going to field the strongest team possible. And because of the battle that we just had against Atletico Madrid, we're not going to do the same. So even a weaker team, I think, still creates problems because of the tactician that Pep is. And I could see us playing to like a 1-1 up and down game, but resulting in penalty shots. And then penalty shots, it's whoever scores.
Yeah, exactly. I let's go to Certified. G, what do you think? How the game's going to run tomorrow, given the week's game, and the current status of our players and what's ahead?
Well, if we know that Liverpool have rested players, we know that the team will also know that. So I think that they'll be cautious. And that's, I think, I can see us maybe winning maybe a 2-1, maybe a 1-1. I'm not really or maybe a 1-0, sorry. I don't know if we'll be able to keep them from not scoring, especially with their front three all playing. However, I just think the longer the game goes, they've got Man United in midweek. I think, will want to make changes. He will not want to be, if anyone goes down injured, he will not want that. So I think as we keep it 0-0 and the time goes, and then maybe we can bring him a Mahrez or something, we can nick it, and then maybe we'll put Rodri in the midfield as well and close it up. Rodri, Fernandinho in the midfield, close it up, just try and keep the ball and walk away for 1-0. However, if they score first, then I don't know. Obviously I think we'll come back by 1, but if we concede 2, it's game over, it's finished. But I don't think that'll happen. So
Adam, go ahead, finish up. It says G. Go ahead, G.
I'll just say 2-1. Sorry, so 2-1. I think will be.
Let's go 2-1. Let's go. Adam, how critical is it tomorrow for us to be clinical and not be wasteful, given the fact that we played midweek in Atleti in Madrid. We're back. We traveled. How important is efficiency for no goal tomorrow?
For me, I would not be necessarily upset or angry if we do end up losing the game, because I'll understand that what we went through with Atletico, and then having to play Liverpool in the Premier League and then play Atletico again and then now play Liverpool again. In a sense, I could be more understanding of if the result doesn't go in our favor, but for some odd reason, I feel like we could somehow just sneak a late goal, like say make it 2-1 or something like what G Certified was saying, probably. But it could probably end up going to say extra time and then penalties, and then who- whoever wins on penalties has won basically. Whoever takes the chances in the penalty shootouts has basically won the match. So,
Yeah.
but I feel like we could probably win the game depending on how the players are.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we do end up winning the game despite all the odds and everything is stacked against us. But I really said let's talk just some last minute round. Vader, anything you want to say? Share your handle, and just talk about wrap it up for us, and then Certify you go next, and then Adam you go last.
So Vatorgames, obviously, I got a YouTube channel, Vatorgames TV. Two key shows that I try to do weekly is Why Always Me. I just share my perspective. And another show that I'm trying to kick off is a reaction show based off of some of the other channels out there. And I respectfully disagree, where I talk about some of these takes that are happening because I find them pretty crazy sometimes. And unlike pitch points right now, I'm not at the 100 mark. So every friend, please hit that follow.
Yeah.
Let me build a channel humbly and slowly, but support your boy.
Absolutely. He's always fun to have, guys. Subscribe to his channel. It really is. He has a different way of communicating that I really enjoy. He has the chillness and the coolness to respectfully disagree. I don't have that patience. Certified also is a very cool, calm chap. I love him in spaces. He has a patience that I don't. Certified, any last words from you, man?
Nah, well, first of all, big up everyone, man, and obviously make sure you follow everyone here, man. Give them a subscribe and get them build the channel, of course. But as for fan thoughts, although all I wanted to say is, do you guys think maybe Cole Palmer could play tomorrow? I'm not sure if he's even available, but would you guys want to see Cole Palmer?
You know the funny thing about this, and let me be frank with you guys, right? I wouldn't mind Pep putting out the kids and we lose 3-1 or 2-1, because I think there's honor in that. And it just shows that, hey, look, even with our kids, we can match you as much as we can, and then we go for the Premier League and the Champions League. I mean, if at the end of the day we end up winning the Premier League or the Champions League and we lose the FA Cup, we have the kids. I would not be happy, but I would understand that, and I would be proud of the team. I remember the Chelsea game that we played years ago with Pellegrini, Adam, where we had all the kids, David Falpala, all those kids played. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
They lost 5-1, but the way they played, the way they started off, it was really, really impressive. So I don't know, man.
I wouldn't be mad at the kids playing either. And especially as a fan base, if we remained optimistic about their future. Like, what happens if it happens to be like you said, a 3-1 loss, but they play well? I just want us to remain positive with these kids and know that they've got more to give in terms of their improvement as players.
Absolutely. Thanks, G. Adam, you want to wrap us up? Adam?
You're muted if you're talking, Adam.
Sorry, I forgot. Regardless of what the result is tomorrow, just support the boys, at the end of the day, regardless of what the result is. If it's good, support them. If we don't get the result, just still support the boys at the end of the day. That's all they need us to do at the end of the day. And we'll see what happens tomorrow at the end of the day.
Yep. And after tomorrow, we have the big run-in. We have Premier League Brighton coming up. I believe we have Watford coming up. And then we have Real Madrid first leg. So 2 games before the big one against Real Madrid. Now, I'm excited about those 3 games. I really am excited. And I hope that City and the boys will do us well tomorrow. Win, lose, or draw. It's really good to be a Blue. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, Ali. Thank you, TruCityFan. Patrick, I miss you today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will see you probably next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, for Brighton with our crew here. Till then, take care. God bless, and up the Blues.
Take care. Keep safe.